Welcome back. In the previous tutorial, we looked at variable definition and data entry in SPSS. But in this tutorial, we are going to look at data cleaning in SPSS. Now, data cleaning just involves fixing errors in your data before using the data for analysis. And the first data cleaning technique we are going to look at is how to check for out of range errors in your data. Okay, and how to fix them. Now, to make the concept of out of range errors understandable, let me do something to our data for you to see. Now, this is our original data, right? But let me deliberately make Let me deliberately make it 5 instead of 2, okay? Please remember, the original value was 2, but I deliberately make it 5 for now, okay? Just to use it to explain the concept of out of range errors, just for now, okay? Then let's come to the last one over here also. Let's deliberately make this particular one. Let's deliberately make it, let's say 6. For now, the original value was 2 and I made it 5. And the original value was 4 and I made it 6. Okay. We are now going to assume that this was how our data was recorded. That we recorded this place as 5 and then we recorded this place as 6. Now, to check if your data is having out of range errors, this is what you do. First, you go to the Analyze tab at the top here. So you click on it. Then you go down to Descriptive Statistics. Okay. Then you move side and come to Frequencies. So you just click on Frequencies. Then the Frequencies box will display. Now you are going to select the variable you want to check out of range errors for. Okay, and move it to this box. So what you do is that you click on the first one and then click on this arrow to move it here. Then you click on the second one, click on this arrow to move it there. Okay. But I want to check out of range errors for all the variables. Since I will be checking it for all of them, picking them one by one and dropping them in this box might take my time. So I can just use Ctrl+A to select all, you see, and click on this arrow to move them all to the variable box. Okay. Then we go to Statistics tab. Now in the Statistics tab, since I just want to check for out of range errors, let's come to where they've written dispersion and then check the box for minimum and maximum. Just the two of them, okay. Then you click on Continue. Then let's uncheck the box for Display Frequency Tables. I don't need the frequency tables for now. Then we click OK. After clicking OK, you are going to get the statistics. Now let's look at it. Now when you look at the first one, the lowest ID is 1 and the highest is 21. When we look at age, the lowest age is 22 and the highest is 55. I won't say much about this for now. When we look at gender also, the lowest is 0 and the highest is 1. Remember, we made male 0 and we made female 1. So we only had two numbers, 0 and 1. And 0 is the lowest and 1 is the highest, right? Now when we come to marital status, when we talk about marital status in our code book, we only had 4 marital status in our code book, right? 1 is single, 2 is married, 3 is divorced, and 4 is widowed. We never had 5 in our marital status. And you can see here that the maximum happened to be 5, which wasn't part of our data. So you should suspect that for the variable marital status, there's an out of range error because the maximum is supposed to be 4 and you're having 5 as the maximum here. Okay, so you apply same thing to the others, but let me quickly move to the last one. Now, the last one here, when you look at the minimum is 1 and the maximum is 6. 1 is strongly disagree, 2 is disagree, 3 is neutral, 4 is agree, and 5 is strongly agree. So the max is supposed to be 5, but we are having 6 here. So you should suspect also that for this particular statement, there's an out of range error. For these 4, no out of range errors. The lowest 1, the highest 5, okay. And when you look at this also, no out of range errors, 0 and 1, yes or no. Remember, we made no 0 and yes 1. So far, marital status has out of range error, and the last statement here also has out of range error. So let's look at how to fix it. So to fix it, you come to the tags bar here, and then go to the main view. Okay. Now, when you come back to the main data view, Remember, we identified out of range errors. Now remember, marital status is suffering out of range errors, and employer underscore support is also suffering out of range error. So let's see how to fix them. To fix them, I'm going to show you some two basic ways of doing it, okay? But as time goes on, I'll show you some other advanced ways of fixing it, okay? Now let's come to the first one, which is marital status. First, we are going to check for the out of range value. So when you check through, you realize that this is the problem, this one. So to fix it, you go to the original source of your data to go and check the right thing that's supposed to be there. Okay, let's say for respondent number 4. You go and check the right response the respondent number 4 gave for marital status, and then do the correction. Manually do the correction. If you've collected your data as hard copy, just go and check that respondent's paper and check the right response that particular respondent gave for marital status. Okay. Or any other means you've used in collecting the data, just check if you can get the right response back. Okay. But for me, I know the right response that's supposed to be here, which is 2. So I'll just enter 2 there. Okay. Now, the second method is, if you go and check the original source and you can't find a response, or that respondent didn't provide any response to that particular question, you just leave it as missing. Okay, you leave it empty. Okay, that's another way you can do it. Okay, but me, I know it, so I'll just leave it as 2. As time goes on, I'll show you some other ways of fixing out of range errors. Okay, then let's come to the employer support. Okay, now for this also, we go and check the original source for the right response. Okay, if you can't find it, you just leave it empty. You leave it as missing value. Okay, but if you can find it, for me, I can find it. It is 4, so I'll just enter it there. So you can manually enter the right responses for the out of range values you've identified. Okay, if you can find them. But if you can't find them, just make them missing. Leave them empty. Exactly. In the next tutorial, I'll show you another data cleaning technique. I'll end this here for now. Thank you and see you in the next tutorial.